Good evening, everybody. Name's Larry.
Hi, Larry.
Hey, Larry. How you doing?
Listening?
Guttadora. This came about because I'm an amateur radio operator, and I was working on a receiver that was built in England, and I was having a hum problem. After taking the filter capacitor out of the receiver and checking it on the bench, it checked okay. But something wasn't right because I still had the hum. Substituting a pair of capacitors in its place, the hum disappeared. So after doing some research, I found out that electrolytic capacitors are subject to something that's called dielectric absorption. And basically what it is, it's like a person who has emphysema. They can inhale, but they can't exhale. So the charge was on the filter capacitor, but it couldn't make it out into the circuit. This little meter is a device that can check for the ESR, equivalent series resistance of the capacitor, before you either install it or while it's in the circuit, as long as you lift the leg. And it works very well. The diagram for this is available on the web. The most expensive part of this would be the meter, and in reality, if you wanted to, you could use the tuning meter from an old stereo FM receiver. So basically, that's it. I would recommend that you invest in something like this, whether time-wise or financially, to buy one, if you do enough restorations to make it worthwhile. Take care and thank you. Yes.
How does it work? How does it make that measurement?
There's a 555 timer on the inside that produces a AC signal, and it does a comparison, and it displays that on the meter. Okay. If you wanted to actually take a look at this, I brought something to actually do a demo. If you connect it right to the capacitor, you'll see that the meter goes full scale. Okay. If I insert a resistor in series with the capacitor, and this is a 10 ohm resistor, you can see that it tells you that there's a resistance in the circuit. Now this is measuring it through the capacitor, so it's an AC signal. But it's a small voltage, and the polarity doesn't really matter on the capacitor. Okay?
What's considered good and bad?
Well, that depends. If you're working on something that's going to require a lot of current, small values of resistance can really hurt you. If you're working on a receiver, doesn't draw too much current, an ohm or two probably wouldn't hurt you. I imagine that something like this would be really useful for people that work with electrolytic capacitors to try to figure out whether they're going to be salvageable or not after they've been either reformed or reconstituted with distilled water. Take care. Thank you.
Thank you, Larry.